there is a part of you that remains unseen, a silent force shaping your thoughts, emotions, and actions from the depths of your unconscious. It whispers in moments of doubt, lurks in the echoes of past wounds, and hides behind the masks you wear for the world. The ancients knew of this hidden realm. They called it the shadow, a collection of the aspects of ourselves we refuse to acknowledge. Mystics, sages, and alchemists across time have warned, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. But what if I told you that within your shadow lies not just darkness, but untapped power? That facing it is not about destruction, but transformation? This is the first step in shadow work, the sacred path of self-integration. Tonight, we will journey into the depths of forgotten wisdom, unlocking the truth behind the shadow, its origins, and how the greatest minds of the past harnessed it for enlightenment. And more importantly, you will learn the first steps to embark on this path yourself. The journey is not for the faint of heart, but for those who seek true self-mastery. The rewards are beyond measure. Are you ready? Now, let us step into the darkness and unveil its secrets. The idea of the shadow is not new. Long before modern psychology gave it a name, the ancients understood its presence whispered about in sacred texts, etched into mystical symbols, and concealed within the teachings of secret societies. In ancient Egypt, the hidden self was known as the kybit, the dark twin that followed a person like a shadow, holding all the suppressed desires and unspoken fears of the soul. The Egyptians believed that to achieve balance in the afterlife, one had to reconcile with this unseen force. In the Taoist traditions of the East, the interplay of yin and yang was more than just light and dark. It was the eternal dance of what is acknowledged and what is suppressed. True wisdom, they taught, was not in rejecting one side, but in embracing the whole. The mystery schools of Greece held similar beliefs. The Oracle of Delphi, where seekers would come for divine wisdom, inscribed above its entrance the infamous words, "Know thyself." But knowing oneself was not merely about virtues and strengths, it was about confronting the unknown within. Plato spoke of the shadow in his allegory of the cave, where mankind lived in darkness, mistaking illusions for reality. Only by turning to face the unknown could one ascend to true understanding. Even in the alchemical traditions of the Middle Ages, the transformation of base metals into gold was not just a physical process, it was a metaphor for the inner journey of transmuting one's flaws and hidden wounds into wisdom. The Nigredo, the black stage of alchemy, represented the descent into the self, the confrontation with the darkness before rebirth. Yet, despite these ancient teachings, the modern world has largely rejected the shadow. We are conditioned to believe that anything dark, painful, or hidden must be cast aside. But this suppression does not make it disappear. Instead, the shadow grows stronger, working in the background, shaping our fears, reactions, and patterns in ways we fail to recognize. Why then has this knowledge been forgotten? Why does society fear the shadow? Perhaps because true self-awareness grants the power to break free from conditioning, to reclaim one's full potential, and to no longer be controlled by unconscious forces. And that is precisely what shadow work offers, the chance to reclaim your hidden power. But before we can harness it, we must first understand it. Let us now uncover the essence of the shadow and how it manifests in our daily lives. Imagine standing in a dimly lit corridor lined with mirrors. Each reflection shows a different aspect of you, your kindness, your strength, your wisdom. But if you look closer, something lingers in the corners of the glass, a faint outline of something unspoken. This is your shadow. It does not wish to harm you, it only wants to be seen. The term shadow was brought into modern thought by the Swiss psychologist Carl Jung, who described it as the part of the psyche that contains everything we reject, deny, or suppress. It is made of the emotions, desires, and traits that society, family, or personal experiences have taught us to hide. Some of us bury our anger because we were told as children that good people don't get mad. Others suppress their ambitions because they were made to feel selfish for wanting more. Some push down their deepest wounds, pretending they were never hurt. Over time, these denied aspects do not disappear, they fester, growing stronger in the dark, influencing our lives in ways we fail to recognize. But the shadow is not just made of our wounds. It also holds hidden gifts. The artist who was told that creativity is a waste of time might suppress their talent, never realizing the beauty they were meant to share. The leader who was conditioned to be quiet may never step into their power. The healer who was shamed for being too sensitive may hide their intuition, denying the very thing that makes them extraordinary. How do we recognize the shadow? It reveals itself in moments of strong emotional reactions. When we judge someone harshly, it is often because they embody something we deny in ourselves. It appears in repeating life patterns, cycles of self-sabotage, toxic relationships, unexplained fears. The shadow also emerges in projection when we accuse others of the very things we are blind to within ourselves. Yet, the shadow is not the enemy. It is the wounded messenger of the soul, waiting to be acknowledged. Jung himself said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." So, if the shadow shapes so much of our reality, how do we begin to work with it? The first step is awareness. The moment you stop running from your shadow and turn to face it, you begin the process of integration. This is the work of the mystic, the alchemist, the seeker of truth. It is the path of reclaiming what was lost. But awareness alone is not enough. To truly transform, we must venture deeper to understand how to engage with the shadow and bring its wisdom into the light. To embrace the shadow is to step into the labyrinth of the unconscious. It is not an easy journey. Many fear what they might find hidden in the depths, old wounds, forbidden desires, forgotten memories. But the true seeker understands. What we fear to face holds the key to our liberation. Shadow work is an initiation, one that every mystic, alchemist, and seeker of wisdom must undergo. Throughout history, sacred traditions have spoken of this descent into the self. In ancient Egypt, initiates of the mystery schools underwent trials within the darkness of temples, forced to confront their inner demons before stepping into enlightenment. The Greeks told the tale of Orpheus, who descended into the underworld to reclaim what was lost. In alchemy, the process of nigredo, the blackening, symbolized the dissolution of the false self before transformation could begin. This is the path of shadow work, and it begins with a simple yet profound practice: observation without judgment. The first mistake many make is to fear or reject what they uncover. But the moment you judge your shadow, you exile it further. Instead, become a witness. When an emotion arises, anger, jealousy, resentment, pause. Do not suppress it. Do not justify it. Instead, ask, "What are you trying to show me?" The shadow speaks in symbols, emotions, and reflections. Sometimes, it will appear as resistance, the urge to run from discomfort. Other times, it will manifest in dreams, bringing forth forgotten parts of the soul. A powerful way to engage the shadow is through journaling. Write freely, allowing the subconscious to speak without censorship. Record patterns, triggers, and recurring themes in your life. What moments make you uncomfortable? What traits in others evoke strong reactions? These are the doorways to the shadow. The mirror technique. Sit in front of a mirror, look into your own eyes, hold the gaze, even as discomfort rises. Speak aloud. What part of me have I abandoned? Wait for the answer. The shadow will reveal itself not as a force of destruction, but as a forgotten fragment of yourself, waiting to return home. But not all shadows are made of pain. Some are made of power. Have you ever dimmed your own light to make others comfortable? Have you ever suppressed confidence, intuition, or passion because you feared being seen? This is called the golden shadow, the brilliance within you that was buried long ago. To embrace the shadow is to reclaim these gifts. Yet, there is one more step. One that separates true transformation from mere reflection. Integration. Shadow work is not about simply understanding your darkness, it is about owning it, transforming it, and weaving it back into the self. The alchemist transmutes lead into gold, not by rejecting the lead, but by refining it. You are the alchemist of your own soul. But how do we begin this process of integration? What rituals, exercises, and practices allow us to truly embody the wisdom of the shadow? This is where the work becomes truly powerful, where shadow work moves beyond theory and into action. Knowledge alone is not transformation. To walk the path of shadow work, one must go beyond understanding and into practice. The shadow is not healed by thinking about it, it is healed through engagement, embodiment, and integration. Now, I will reveal 3 powerful techniques, methods used by mystics, psychologists, and seekers across the age to bring the unconscious into the light and reclaim the hidden aspects of the self. 1. Dialoguing with the shadow. The art of inner communication. Your shadow is not your enemy, it is a part of you that longs to be heard. One of the simplest yet most profound techniques is shadow dialogue. Take a journal. Write a conversation between yourself and your shadow. Let the shadow speak without filtering, without judgment. Ask it questions. What do you need? Why were you created? What are you protecting me from? Allow unexpected emotions, responses, and insights to surface. You may be shocked at what is revealed. The shadow often holds wisdom buried beneath its darkness. By giving it a voice, you begin the process of integration. 2. The shadow projection exercise. Seeing the mirror. What triggers you in others is a reflection of what is unresolved within you. This is called projection, when we see in the outside world the aspects of ourselves we refuse to acknowledge. Try this. Make a list of people who trigger you, those who evoke strong emotions, be it anger, envy, or admiration. Write down the qualities they embody that bother or fascinate you. Now, ask yourself, do I possess these traits but suppress them? If negative, where do these qualities show up in subtle ways? If positive, why have I denied myself these gifts? This is one of the most uncomfortable yet enlightening exercises in shadow work. By reclaiming these projections, you take back your power. 3. Ritual of integration, a ceremony of self-acceptance. For those who wish to deepen the work, a symbolic ritual can solidify the transformation. Find a quiet space, light a candle, sit in stillness. Close your eyes and visualize your shadow self standing before you not as a demon, but as a forgotten twin. Speak aloud. I see you. I accept you. I integrate you back into my being. Breathe deeply and imagine the two of you merging into one. This act of sacred acknowledgement shifts the unconscious into conscious awareness. It is a declaration that you are whole, not fractured, not divided, but a complete and sovereign being. Common pitfalls to avoid. Shadow work is powerful, but it is not without dangers. Many fall into these traps. Judging the shadow. Healing cannot happen in an environment of shame. Approach your shadow with curiosity, not condemnation. Over-identification. Some get lost in the darkness, mistaking the shadow for their entire identity. You are not your wounds. You are the one who heals them. Avoiding integration. It is not enough to acknowledge the shadow. It must be embodied and transformed into wisdom. When done properly, shadow work is not just self-exploration, it is alchemy of the soul. And now, you have the first tools to begin. But there is one final piece to this puzzle, one last revelation that brings everything full circle. The great paradox of spiritual evolution is this: the light you seek will not be found by running from the darkness. The ancient sages, the alchemists, The mystics, they all understood that true enlightenment is not about rejecting the shadow but embracing it. For within the darkness lies the seed of transformation. What you fear holds the key to your liberation. What you repress holds the energy of your untapped potential. What you deny holds the wisdom you need to step into your higher self. Shadow work is not a one-time task, it is a lifelong path, a sacred initiation into self-mastery. Every time you embrace a hidden part of yourself, you reclaim another fragment of your power. And so, I leave you with this. Tonight, as you stand before a mirror, look deep into your own eyes and ask, what part of me have I abandoned? Listen, the answer will come, not as a voice, but as a feeling, a memory, a whisper from the depths of your soul. The question is, will you have the courage to face it? If this journey has resonated with you, if you feel the call to go deeper, then continue this path. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, share your experiences, and if you wish to see more revelations like this, subscribe. The work has just begun.